Welcome back. Now, Father's Day is about a month away, but really it's never a bad time to show the great dads in our community how much they're really appreciated.
That is exactly what the 22nd Annual Father of the Year Awards Gala is all about. To tell us more about the event and who will actually be benefiting from it, please welcome Dr. Gishan and Rosie Vogel. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So, Rosie, I can't believe it's already next year. I feel like we were just talking about last year's event, but tell us about this year and the gala.
So this year, our Father's Day Gala, the Fathers of the Year, will be on May 19 at Ventana. And we are honoring 6 outstanding fathers in our community. And this year's honorees are, it's a good time for me to mention them. Okay, it's Barry Baker, George Larson, John Lewis, Edmund Marquez, Colonel James Meager, and Thomas Warren. And we are honoring these men because they are doing an outstanding balancing act with their careers, fatherhood, and their civic involvement. So we honor these fathers because they are very successful in their chosen field, but they're also outstanding role models.
Wow. And how do you go about actually finding them? I mean, obviously they're very successful, but what are the processes you use to select them?
Well, there's a nominating committee, and obviously, you know, we need to make sure that in reality they are really good fathers, right? We already know that they're outstanding role models and they're successful in their fields and careers. Many times we get letters for children who nominate, I want my father. I remember one story when this daughter nominated her father and he was chosen as one of her honorees. So there's a lot of, you know, it's not investigation, but research that goes behind to select these fathers, and it's just an honor to be able to have this group that we have this year. It's outstanding.
And so we invite people to come to the event to honor them. Tell me what else happens at the event.
So at the event, we learn a little bit about their story, and then you'll be surprised how many of them actually have connections with type 1 diabetes, and I even get surprised year after year when I go back. But also we share the lives of those children who live with type 1 diabetes. So I'll share my personal story. I have 2 children with type 1 diabetes. One is 16, he was diagnosed at age 2, and the other one is 19, he was diagnosed at age 7. So we've been living with type 1 diabetes for 14 years. And this disease is relentless. It's very scary, and it doesn't, you know, and it's a lot for these kids for self-manage. And I saw self-manage because the care falls in them. So they cannot take a day off. And if they're not taking a day off, me, Dr. Gishan, his team, and Father's Day Council, we will not take a day off from our fundraising until we find a cure, and in the meanwhile, treatments to improve our kids' lifestyles.
Well, and that's that extra layer of importance to you, is that it actually goes to a fundraiser for research for type 1 diabetes. And Dr. Gishan, that's where you step in. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And so tell us, what kind of headway have you made in terms of research for type 1 diabetes?
Okay, so type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder. All autoimmune disorders are on the rise in the Western world. So we take care of 700 children with type 1 diabetes at the Angel Wing for children with type 1 diabetes at the Steele Center. So we have a research center called the Steele Center. That's the only pediatric research center in the entire state of Arizona that's associated with Banner Diamond Children's Hospital. So we provide the following. We provide clinical care, advances in clinical care. I have recruited 5 pediatric endocrinologists to take care of these 700 kids. We generated literally a lot of data on these kids and how we're going to help them. So the next step, of course, we're going to train the future pediatricians in this country. So we basically have 70 medical students finish their training, and we teach them to become pediatricians, take care of kids with type 1 diabetes. And more importantly, we have a discovery process to figure out exactly how we're going to eliminate this disease. And that process depends on the following. One, we need to figure out why would someone make antibodies against their own beta cells and kill it. So that's called autoimmunity. That is, you make antibodies against your own cells, because normally you shouldn't do that. So we're figuring out how basically the body make antibodies against itself. That's one research area. The second research area we concentrate on, how to figure out to generate new beta cells. So that's where it comes in with the stem cells and trying to make beta cells so that eventually we can inject those beta cells in patients and and prevent basically the complication of diabetes.
Well, and that's why synergies like these are so important. You get groups together. You can't put enough time, money, or research into something this important, not enough. So thank you guys so much for coming on and telling us about it. I'll tell people where they can get tickets for this event and where they can go attend and really help this important cause. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Of
so
course,
much.
come back
Thank you.
anytime. Now, for more details about the awards gala, including buying tickets and donating, call 626-6486 or log on to fdctucson.org.